forgot. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jamie Cinq-Mars, in case you don't know, because I forgot to put my name up on my screen, as Natalie just quickly pointed out to me the second before it went live. Um, it's people drinking coffee. Although
Yes.
I have to say my coffee's empty, so
Ah.
unfortunately I won't be drinking coffee while we're broadcasting today.
Hey, Jamie, does that mean I get to have an extra cup of coffee while we're
You can uh,
talking?
you can double fist your coffee. Yeah. I know you have a problem, so I won't question it. Let's see. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put my name in here, so you should say something very
Hey, while you're
clever.
putting your name in there,
Hmm.
um, and don't forget to spell it correctly. Uh,
It does that
I,
for me, so that's good.
I came across an article that somebody I know wrote in one of our local chamber publications, and it's all about how the workspace is evolving for all of us with internet and smartphones and um, all the technology that we now have. And of course, one of his main topics, one of the paragraphs that, of course, struck my eye is the coffee shop workplace. I mean, how many times do we
No.
go into a coffee shop and as long as there's Wi-Fi available, we see people sitting with their laptops, some of it's
Yep.
students, some of it's work people.
Hmm.
Um, we do it online here.
Yes.
Uh, the coffee shop is no longer just a coffee shop, is it?
No, not at all. There was I don't remember what company it was. It might even have been Google. But I read an article probably a year ago, um, or more, that was regarding the idea of uh, leaning towards having people, because they let people decide if you want to have if you want to work from home, you can work from home, because you have 100% access to the work environment from wherever you are. But one of the things that, if it was Google, it may not have been Google. I'm just throwing it out there. It could be in any company, but it was all about them being creative. So what they did was they didn't allow people to work from home, but they were and very specifically, because they thought that if people went home, their creative mind would actually no longer be tapped into. So what they wanted them to do was they gave them free reign to work from anywhere. So they were allowed to go to the park. They were allowed to go, like, if, as long as they had Wi-Fi, of course. But as long as they could go to the coffee shops, they could anywhere they could get themselves. They go to McDonald's. They go anywhere they can get a Wi-Fi signal, and they could do their work from there. And they found that the creativity and the efficiency of the work being done and the quality of the work being done skyrocketed, because people were in an environment where there was creative, just in a creative environment, a place that, Starbucks does their own thing for the decor and having things look a certain way, and the idea of just being comfortable while you're working. A lot to be said for that, because, and I mean, I know, and you and I have talked about this. I mean, I don't know what you guys think of my new office. I basically just moved last night. I moved all of my stuff. One of the things that had been holding me back from moving into this office is I needed a desk, because I didn't have a desk that would fill the room, and the tiny desk that I had in my other office would have been just out of place, just sitting here in the middle of this room. Um, it's still in my home, but it's actually in a different space. I came down here yesterday. I moved everything down here. I put decorated the walls. Well, not completely finished, but I have stuff up anyway. I was monkeying around with where I wanted the camera. I mean, I've got a couple of different positions if I want to stand or if I want to sit. So it was just, the idea was to create an environment that when I'm looking around the room, uh, that things that I really feel good about are there and help me. And it's a little bit quieter, and it's a space where I can work even, once there are people at home, that I don't have to worry about disturbing them, nor them disturbing me. So, but I think that it's a really important concept that people overlook, is that the environment in which you do your creative work, is it actually conducive to you being creative, or is it going to cause more problems, right?
Well, and you mentioned the desk because work from home. or home offices or home-based businesses, you need to have a place where you can work. You need to have a place where you can organize what you're doing. And of course, you have your appointment book and calendar nearby, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
Not quick enough.
Very good. Because you have to treat what you do, whether it is a personal project or a business project, you have to treat it seriously.
I agree. Yep.
You know? I mean, the right tools for the right job. If you're a painter, you need to have the right paints, the brushes, the easel, the palette, whatever. If you're a writer, you need to have the materials you need. If you're working from home, you need to have the internet connection and the space to work with. So heck,
That was a big challenge for me when I was trying, because I wanted to move this, or at least try, um, the office down here in the basement, because it's a space that was not being used anymore. My
mhm.
son, before he became an adult, this was his room, and there's, he doesn't live here anymore, so the space is empty. Um, so for me, it was the idea of not of moving down here with that small desk just didn't work, because I wouldn't have anyone to work. Where I've been working recently, for the most part, is in our dining room, because the dining room table provided a large area to work with, so I could spread out and have room. And I have two monitors and things like that. I need somewhere to set up. I have actually a tripod that can hold a camera, so that if I want to move it around, and there's all these things that come into play when you need to make videos or do webinars or whatever it is you need to do. And I was unclear how I was going to set this place up. And we have this it's an old kitchen table. It's not a big kitchen table. It's one that we don't use in our house, because our kitchen isn't an eat-in kitchen. It has sort of a bar type nook off the, I don't know how to describe it, but anyway, there's a place to eat there, but you don't need a table. So this table was actually sat in our porch for a long time, not having no real use for it. So yesterday I decided to clean it all off and use it. So it's down here, and then that small desk. So I have both desks, or I have a small desk and then this kitchen table ultimately, and that's what's serving as a desk for now. But I think that what the message, or the idea that you want to get to, is it doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to get going. And I know that a lot of times with people, especially when it comes to video, I mean, I don't know how many times I've worked with, well, one of them sitting here with me, but worked with people on video, and they won't make a video, and I don't know why. She's sitting right there. She's conversing with both of us, with all of us, very freely, very openly. There's no problem. But ask her to make a video, and all of a sudden she can't do it. It makes no sense whatsoever, and I'm not sure what. And I'm just going to keep talking like she's not here. So the idea is that it's all of the tools and skills she already has. Why she won't make a video, only God will know, I suppose. But the fact remains is that the more perfect you want the video to be, well, we'll talk video if you want, but the more perfect you want video, or the more perfect you want the environment, or the more perfect you want whatever to be before you start, you'll never start, number one. Number two, when you start, it's going to suck even more, because you think it's perfect and it's still going to be awful. Because here's the thing, when you first start doing anything, it's awful. Right now I look around the room and it's not all set up. There's stuff still down in a box that I use to move it downstairs. There's stuff not hanging up on the walls. There's things that I don't like where they are, so I'm going to have to move them around. And so, but I needed to just do it yesterday when I made the decision it's got to be done. The same thing with the videos. I look back at videos I made when I first started making videos. They're horrible. But if you didn't start making them, then Natalie and I were talking just before we went live, that heck, I can make a video for anybody, anytime, anywhere, for any reason. You just tell me the content, what you want me to say, and boom, I'll make a video. It's that easy. I mean, I'll change the environment. You want me to go sit outside? I'll go sit outside. You want me to sit in the park? I'll go there. It doesn't matter. I have no issue with talking to a camera. I have no issue with delivering a message. I have none of those things. It's just a matter of doing it, really. I mean, it's the same concept that I avoid when it comes to speaking in front of people, right? You could put 6,000 people in this webinar, which would be awesome, by the way. You guys should tell all your
Oh,
friends
yeah.
to all show up. And I would never, ever feel nervous. I would never feel like I couldn't pull this off. And that would never, ever happen. But tell me I need to stand in front of 6,000 people in a room, and suddenly I have an issue. So I do understand where the fear factor comes in. I just don't understand it with video because there's nobody around. So that part I don't get. That part seems way easier.
Now that is interesting. You said it that way. I would have no problem getting up and talking in front of people live. That doesn't bother me. I don't know why, but the videos do.
So then pretend there's 6,000 people watching. That would be the easy fix for me.
So of course, you know what the theme that's running through this little conversation is, that stop building walls and take action.
Right. Action breaks down fear. That's the only way you can do it. There's no two ways around it. I mean, it's not that I don't understand that. It's easier said than done. I get all that, but it's still, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, and that's the thing. And I think that a lot of times entrepreneurs and people who are striking out on their own, or I have a friend of mine, an unbelievably talented graphic artist, who I've used for, I don't know, countless things and at no point ever have I ever had anybody ask me, who made it because they wanted to say it was horrible. They wanted to know who made it because it was so awesome. He's just so skilled at what he does. And for probably 5 years, I've been encouraging him to break out on his own because he's hated his job for as long as I've known him. And he's hated his employer, and he's hated everything about what he does. It's it draws life sucking every time he goes there. They take advantage of him. At one point, I don't think they were paying him. I think that's changed, but they were, because there was, it's a family business. So at one point, I don't know, somebody left or retired or something, and then the son took over, and things got a little messy for a while, and whatever. But dude, leave, go do your own thing. But every time I talk to him about it, it's always, well, I was thinking of redoing the logo, and it's always, there's always some little piece that he wants to get just right and just perfect and just this and just perfect. And it's like, dude, you're going to work for these people for the rest of your life and never make a dime, when he could quadruple his income overnight if he could just get his head out of his ass, for the lack of a better phrase.
Yeah.
But it's that thing where you're always looking for everything to be perfect. People want to write their books. People who want to write books, same thing. I went to an amazing workshop a couple weeks back, and it really opened my eyes to how simple it is to write a book. And people who are listening now are like, oh, you're crazy. It's not simple. It really is that simple. You just need to stop making it so complicated. It's not complicated. It's a matter of there's a blueprint. And I'm actually looking at the book right now because it's on my desk. But there's a blueprint in which to use to write your book in 40 hours. Now, most people, when I say that, they think I'm crazy, but it's not 40 hours straight. There's a system to get it done. Needless to say, it's about the ability to eliminate your need for perfection. Because it's never going to be perfect anyway. So to try and strive for perfection before you start is basically eliminating your ability to start, get through, and complete anything.
Okay.
I got to turn on my speakers again because they won't be able to hear Natalie, because I have these wonderful speakers that shut themselves off for no reason. So, what do you have to say for yourself, Natalie?
Well, I'm intrigued by the direction our conversation is going, because yesterday I started writing again. I write on and off. I don't write as consistently as I would like to, and that's something I've got to work on. But I write in spurts. So it's very much what you're talking about. It's like I want to write, and there is no reason why I can't write, and there's no reason why I shouldn't write. The only thing that holds me back is myself. So therefore, I need to remember that. And that's the same thing with the videos. You know that.
Yeah, I'm going to get you to attend one of these workshops. What I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to find out when there was one in.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, it comes with an entire 100-page workbook.
Oh wow.
It's without question the best workshop I've ever been to. I have nothing I've ever been to has delivered as much information, useful information. There's plenty of workshops I've been to that they blab on for hours and you get all kinds of useless information to take with you, stuff that you've heard or it's been repackaged or repurposed or whatever. But in this case, quite literally, I mean, it's a book publishing company, of course. That's why they run the workshop. They want you to publish with them, right? I mean, it's a pretty standard business practice that, I'm going to run this workshop and we want you to work with us. However, in this specific case, the information that comes from the workshop, you could quite literally take with you from the workshop and go and publish your book without them. And they even tell you that right at the beginning of the whole thing, that they're gonna. It's ultimately an agreement. So at the beginning of the workshop, they ask you, like, I want to, so we want to enter into an agreement before we start this workshop, and that's if you receive some content that you could take away from this weekend and use and put into use and put into practice. Will you allow for me to tell you what we offer? Meaning, can I sell you? Can I pitch you something?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the agreement. If I provide you content that you can take home and utilize, can I then pitch you?
Sure.
And it's a fair deal. I mean, most people say that they're going to give you content and they never do. They give you garbage. They give you nothing. They give you quotes. They give you this, that, and that. They don't give you a 100-page workbook that quite literally, in this specific case that we're talking about, could help you write your actual book, because it's a workbook. Like if I looking at, it's got a table of contents and everything. The stage 1 is plan it. Stage 2 is write it, and then publish it, and then, or I'm probably missing one, fund it. Sorry. Then there's fund it, publish it, write it, and plan it. So plan it, write it, publish it, fund it. I mean, it tells you, and all these things, and move it. Sorry, there's another one. Meaning, it's wonderful to get yourself 3,000 books delivered to your house, but the key is how do you get rid of them, right? So they have strategies for how you get rid of all that stuff, but they give it all to you. Everything.
Well, you should send me the link for the people who do that workshop, and I'll see what they have down
Darn
here.
well know you're going to get one. As soon as I have one, I got to, like I say, I'll find out the dates.
Okay.
And, I know that they've got a bunch coming up in the next couple of months. I just don't know where they are off the top of my head, so I have to look it up.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds really good. Because again, there's nothing to stop any of us from pursuing our dreams or our goals, whatever they may be.
Exactly. Other than yourself.
And actually, there is only one thing that does stop us. Mm-hmm.
Ourselves. Not me. Ourselves. I'm stopping you.
No.
This guy right here.
No. Yeah, right.
You shall not pass.
Yeah.
Something like that? No? All right. It's 10:30 on the button. I actually have to go pick up my mother from the airport.
Ah, okay. She's returning home from her trip.
She is. She was in the east coast of Canada for the week, and she is returning home today.
Okay.
So I do need to cut this baby a little bit on the short side today, which is fine. I mean, 20-30 minutes is plenty anyway.
Well, and since you don't have coffee, so,
I know. I'm very thirsty. I need to go grab I'll grab a glass of water really quick, and then I'll book it out the door and go and stop and get coffee on the way to the airport.
All
'Cause I'm
right.
not going to go inside because I think her plane is actually landing right about now.
Okay.
And she knows that I'm going to be a little bit behind because she knows about the webinar. But
Okay.
so, but she'll be waiting outside as opposed to me going inside to get her. So that's, yeah. Normally I get there early and I go inside and do all that fun stuff.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Today.
All right. Well, as always, it's good having coffee with you. I like
Yes,
it.
I agree.
I like it.
I think that it's important that we let everybody sort of marinate on the fact that they're the only thing that's stopping them from doing what they want to do, and whatever dream or goal that is. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to get started. I'll leave you with the two analogies that I hear most often when
Okay.
listening to speakers, and also that resonate. They're probably why I hear it so often, because it resonates so well with me. But you never have to see the entire staircase in order to figure out how to get to the top, the next floor. You really just need to see the first step.
Right.
And so if you can see the first step, you take that first step, and then you see another step and another step, and you'll be at the next floor if you just keep taking those steps. The second analogy is when you're driving at night. You're driving on a highway, you're driving to wherever you're going. Let's say you're driving from Chicago to LA. Anything beyond the headlights of your car, yet you still manage to get where you're going. You don't need to see the whole road. You just need to see right at what's in those headlights. That's all you need to see. You need to know where you're going, but you don't need to see the entire path. It's that simple.
Just get started.
Just get started. Everybody have an awesome day. peopledrinkingcoffee.com. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Okay. Bye now, everybody.